Hello and welcome to the Dinosaw number 209, another 7 curious, interesting things I saw last week, so let's crack on. First one is the Unitree G1. This is the latest update in their training algorithm. It can now do Kung Fu. Well, of course it can. So as you can see, it's doing it pretty well. This is not sped up, this is not CGI. And by the way, that robot isn't quite as tall as you think it is. It's about the size of a 10-year-old child. However, it can still run after you pretty quickly and it can still kick you. So yeah, that's progress. Awesome. This is the Lenovo Yoga Solar PC, bit of a mouthful, but this is actually just a concept. It hasn't actually been made yet. However, it has solar panels on its lid. So apparently if you then charge it for 20 minutes, you will get 1 hour of video watching with that 20 minutes. So it has solar panels on the back, which are unobstructed except for the Lenovo logo. Obviously, they're super efficient as well. 24% I think of the sunlight is turned into electricity, which is amazing. Now it's good unless you think about it too much, because obviously unless you sit in the middle of nowhere like this lady is here doing your video editing, you're probably indoors and your laptop lid is probably facing downwards, which is where the sun isn't. So but there you go. The other thing is, like, I thought, well, you know, if you then think, oh, I'm just running out of juice, I'll just leave my laptop out in the sun, then it's probably going to get nicked as well. So there you go. Brilliant concept, unless you think too deeply about it, but still a brilliant concept. This is Google's MusicFX DJ. I discovered this week. It's been out for a while. However, it allows you to DJ constantly just using prompts and it makes up the rest. So for instance, if you really just want ragtime piano, for instance, you just type in ragtime piano and it will constantly generate ragtime piano. In this case, I've put strings, techno drum and Kraftwerk, and it came up with something that sounded plausible. And you can then say we want it more random, less random, whatever you want to do, and it will just keep putting a little piece of music in front of you and it will just keep playing that. So when you then change it, it then mixes that in as well. So it's a bit hit and miss, but it's still fun. I'm not going to make you listen to it, but you can go to the link in the description and have a play with it yourself. There you go. Interesting. This is the Xiaomi, I guess that's how you say that. I've never actually heard it actually said, but there you go. This is the Modular Optical system, which I think is super, super cool. So it is a proper lens that you can actually stick to the back of your phone. Now there are 2 tiny little pins on the back of this little lens that actually connect to the camera. So it is not only powered by the camera, i.e. the lens has no power in it, it doesn't need to be charged, has no batteries, but it also connects directly to the processor of the phone, and it acts like a hardware modular upgrade. So you can get this really, really cool lens. You can do all your focus and all that sort of good stuff you can't normally do with your, you know, your slightly crappy phone lenses. However, has a really big sensor in it, all that sort of stuff. Really, really beautifully done. It's only a concept at the moment, but I just love that. And you can just see, you know, Carl Zeiss, all that sort of Leica in this case, they're going to get in on the act as well. So love that one. Brilliant. This is 00 Robotics VCopter Falcon Mini. Now there is a Falcon, it is a bigger version of this, and this is the Mini. The reason it is interesting is it brings it under the 250-gram drones. Now that means you don't need all the legal, well, a lot less legal stuff. You don't need to do a license and things like that. So now what's interesting about this one is it's not a quadcopter, it is a 2-rotor drone. So it can do pretty cool things. It's more nimble, for instance, than the quadcopter. It says, well, it looks like it as well. However, interestingly, because it's only got 2 of the copters, it actually uses 2 lots of them rather than 4. So it can actually save energy as well, which therefore equals flight time. So there you go. So that's really interesting. So again, not actually out yet, but it's on their website. So go and have a look at it basically. And that's pretty cool. Interesting. This is Runway ML's Restyled first frame, and it literally does what it says on the tin. So a lot of the issues with AI, special video generation, is consistency. So that's basically what this tackles, and it does it in a really simple way. You upload your video, it then says, okay, here's the first frame of that video. So you then download the first frame of the video, you then edit the first frame to the style that you want, and you then upload it, and it says, right, I will then remake the rest of the video in the style of the first frame you've just re-uploaded. So it allows you to transfer a style to your video. So if you want a consistent style to each one of your clips, all you do is you just upload the video, you download the first frame, you restyle that clip in a consistent way, and away you go again. So really, really interesting, available now, etc, etc. And click on the link below to watch the full video of how it's done. But yeah, that makes it really, really simple. They also show you these sort of examples where you just go, look, just give it some weird stuff and see what happens, and you never know, it might be quite interesting, which I think is yeah, nice. I enjoy that. And finally, we have this really, really weird thing. I was researching Morse code this week, don't ask me why, but this led me to this thing, which is parks on the air. Now, this is actually from I think a demo or a sort of hackathon type thing in 2016. It then became a thing because it was so popular. So what you do is you literally go to parks in America, and if you're an amateur sort of radio buff, you take your equipment with you, and you then set up a little system within that park. You then publicize that, and people can then talk to you over amateur radio. So that's all you do. If you go into a park and you're the person there, you are an activator, and then as soon as somebody then starts to broadcast, they then sort of request, does anybody want to speak to me? And then you become a hunter, you find one of these things and you try and speak to them, you try and queue up and speak to them. If you then get spoken to, you have a conversation, you get points essentially on the big system. So it's really, really interesting. Didn't know this thing existed. It's a bit like Morris dancers in the UK. I'd never do this, but thank God that people actually do this. So I salute you if you do this and keep amateur radio and CB radio, that sort of thing, alive. Well done. Hopefully that was interesting. Hopefully it was useful. If it was, give it a like, thumbs up, share it with somebody, and I will see you next week.